If you're new to human design and you want to find out more about the Manifesting Generator energy type, then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Veronica. I'm a mindset coach and human design guide with over 15 years experience helping women create their own version of success. Around this time last year, I discovered human design for the first time, and it changed my life, it changed my business, and it changed the way that I help my clients. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Without further ado, let's get started talking about the Manifesting Generator type. So the first thing I want to acknowledge about manifesting generators is that they are often viewed as being a subtype of the generator. However, I truly believe that they deserve to be recognized as their own unique energy type, because you guys are a hybrid. You take some qualities from the manifestor energy type and some qualities from the generator energy type, and you blend those two to create a completely unique, interesting, and exciting energy type of your own. The blend of the two different flavors from the manifestor and the generator make you a super cool mix of a pioneer and a workhorse. You guys have the flexibility and adaptability of a manifestor and the resilience and steadiness of a generator. So first of all, how do you know if you're a manifesting generator? Number one, most of the websites that are available to you where you pull up your human design chart will tell you in black and white, in words, which energy type you are. But if you're interested in understanding what about your chart actually makes you a manifesting generator, then what we need to look at is the connection between the sacral and the throat. So a typical generator will have a defined sacral. That is in essence what makes them a generator. And you as a manifesting generator will also have a defined sacral. However, if you have a defined sacral and either the sacral itself or one of these three motor centers defined and connected to the throat, that will mean that you are a manifesting generator. Now let's look at your aura. You share the same aura as the generator, and that's to say that you have a big, open and enveloping aura. When you guys are living in alignment, when you're living your truth, when you are doing things in the way that you're designed to do them, your aura becomes magnetic. And when that happens, your aura is constantly attracting the right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances, the right job offers to you. This is also why the strategy for the manifesting generator, which is the same as the generator, is to respond. Because you're presented with all these opportunities, and then you are there to simply decide and discern which of those opportunities are a right fit for you and which of those are not. You guys, like the generator, are heavily influenced by your gut instinct. You have this inner compass that helps you to decide whether something is a yes or a no. And for you guys, the feeling that you get is a or a When you're presented with something and you're needing to make a decision, the gut is your guide that is there to tell you if something is a yes or if something is a no. Before we dive a little bit deeper into the strategy of a manifesting generator, what I want to do is talk to you about some of your characteristics, some of your gifts. You guys are such cool beings. You have the hunger and thirst and love for life that your generator side gives you. This passion to try things, to follow the joy, to learn, to experience. And you blend that with the agility that the manifestor has. So this makes you what we often refer to as the unicorn of the energy types. You guys are the kinds of people that love variety. You love to have your fingers in many pies. You love to try different things. You love to have variety in your life, to be stimulated by different things. And unlike some of the other energy types, for example, a projector, hi, that's me, you guys thrive with doing different things and almost multitasking. Often people are told to niche down, to pick one thing and stick to it, to focus their energy. And actually that is poor advice for a manifesting generator, because as long as all of the things that you're focusing your energy on are things that bring you joy and things that light you up, you have an abundance of energy and you're more than capable of juggling all those balls and doing a great job at it. Another incredible qualities that you guys have is that you're super efficient, because you have the ability that the generator side gives you to do the work and commit to something and engage your energy and give it your all with the agility of the manifestor, which means that you can quickly change your approach, change your tactics in order to redirect yourself and get to where you want to be in the most efficient way possible. Now let's talk to some of the common challenges that manifesting generators face. One of the common challenges that many manifesting generators face is that they grow up in a world that rewards and encourages a linear path to success. What I mean by this is that we live in a world that recognizes the importance of going from A to B to C to D to E to F, and so on and so forth. You're born, you learn to walk and talk, you go to school, you pick your subjects, you have exams, you go to more school, and then you get a job, you make money, you buy a house, you start a family, you grow old, you retire, the end. Sounds a bit morbid when you break it down like that. But the point is, historically, society has celebrated that very predictable linear path to life. And the manifesting generators are the kinds of people that want to go from A to C to W, back to F, back to D. They need to explore. They need to experience everything that life has to offer. If you're a manifesting generator, imagine that you are someone who is walking into the buffet of life and you want to sample a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And that is your way of understanding yourself and actually understanding what it is that you like and what it is that you don't like, what is for you and what isn't. How can you possibly decide what is for you and what is not when you haven't engaged, when you haven't experienced that thing? So you guys are here to remind us that experimenting, trying things out, playing with life, getting to experience as much of life as possible is a good thing, not a bad thing. You're here to remind us all that life is for living, for trying, for sampling, for getting some things right and some things wrong and learning from them and going again. It should be this playful journey where we actually get to play and through play learn what we like and learn what we don't. Instead, we are unfortunately still to this day often told this is right and this is wrong and this is good and this is bad. And as a result, manifesting generators can feel stuck. They can feel trapped. They can feel like they don't get to be their full selves because they're having to make themselves smaller. They're having to pick one career path or one partner or one way of doing things, when really it's really difficult for them to know what is the right thing for them unless they try loads of different things out. So one of the biggest ways to make progress and to feel better about yourself and to lean into what makes you unique and to start to love it and to start to use it and to start to embrace it is to accept that it's okay not to be understood by everybody. And it's okay if people don't get the way that you want to live your life, as long as you get it and as long as you're happy. That's all that matters. The rest of the world will eventually catch up to you. But for now, let people go on their own journey and you focus on leaning into what makes sense to you, what feels good to you, trusting your gut, and you will never go wrong. When we talk about strategy in human design, what we are referring to is a way for you to live your life with the least resistance and with the most ease and flow based on your energy type. So the strategy will always correspond to the relevant energy type. Let me give you an example. The strategy for a projector will always be to wait for the invitation. The strategy for a generator will always be to respond. The strategy for a manifestor will always be to inform and initiate. The strategy for a reflector will be to wait a full 28-day lunar cycle. So when we talk about manifesting generators, because you are a hybrid, your strategy is to, number one, respond, and number two, inform. Let's break those down. So as your aura is the same as a generator's aura and is designed to attract opportunities to you, one of the first things that you need to learn to do as a manifesting generator is wait. And as a projector, trust me when I tell you that I know how hard this is, because we, again, live in a world that tells us to go out there and get things and do things and make things work and So waiting can feel like you are procrastinating, it can feel like you're failing, it can feel like you should be doing things and you're not. But what do I mean by waiting? When I talk about waiting, I'm talking about the fact that you are not a manifestor. Therefore, you are not designed to initiate. When I talk about initiating, what I'm saying is you can't just simply wake up one day, decide that you're going to go off and do something, and off you go. You go and take action on it, because your energy is not designed to change a desire into action. Instead, you need to wait to be presented with a stimulus, something that comes into your world for you to respond to. This can be a post that you see, a conversation that you have, an invitation someone extends to you. It could be something you hear on the radio. It can be something that you read on the newspaper. It could be something that you see when you're out on a walk. Essentially, anything that comes into your life and creates a reason for you to react, for you to respond, creates a reason for you to have that sacral response that makes you either go, aha, or it makes you go, So learning to wait for things to come to you can feel a little bit restraining, a little bit frustrating. However, waiting is not a passive process. And again, this is similar for the projector, which is why I relate to it so much. When you are waiting, what you really are focusing on, or need to be focusing on, is clearing your space, your mind, your energy of anything that isn't the right fit for you. So often, generators and manifesting generators get stuck doing things that bring them no joy, that don't move them forward, because they are either people pleasing, they are living their life based on what they think they should be doing, they don't want to look like they're failing by letting something go or quitting. And so they remain stuck in situations that drain them, that demotivate them, that make them doubt themselves. And those things are taking up so much of their time, so much of their energy, that they leave no space for anything else. So when you are waiting, what you need to be doing is to declutter, to let things go, to make space, to center yourself, to create a landing pad, an energetic landing pad for the right things to come to you. And they will. As I mentioned earlier, when you guys are in alignment, your aura becomes magnetic. So you need to trust that by removing everything that isn't right for you, you will leave the space for the right things to land into your life. Once they do, this is then when you respond. Okay, so we've got step number 1 is wait, step number 2 is respond. Once you recognize your response, then the next step for you is to inform. And this comes from the manifestor side. You need to inform the people around you, the people in your life, of what you're about to do. And this is not to ask permission, but this is so that you can create an opportunity for people to get on board with you or not, because the manifestor in you is designed to want to just go off and do things and not wait around and take quick action without sometimes considering the people that will be affected by your decisions. So it's really important for you to develop the habit of informing. And this can be like a, by the way, this is what I'm doing, not a, I'm thinking of doing this, can I? What do you think? It's a, this is the decision I've made, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to try. I'm letting you know to keep you informed, to allow you to feel considered. If you want to join, feel free. And then you take action. Then you go and do the thing. Now, there's an extra layer for you guys, which is that although you are driven by the gut, you often don't get confirmation of that gut feeling until you are actually engaging with the thing. As always, I want to caveat this with, I am not a manifesting generator. Therefore, I cannot truly speak to your experience. But having done so many readings, and many of the readings I've done have been for generators and manifesting generators, I've had confirmation from people of this very experience, which is that often they don't truly know what their gut is telling them until they have made the decision and they've taken the action. And then that action taking is what confirms whether they had A, made the right decision for them, or B, it helps them realize that actually that wasn't the right decision for them. Now, this can sometimes cause problems, it can cause challenges, because it can mean that you start to develop narratives of being someone who is maybe fickle, changes their mind a lot, who is unreliable, who's a little bit flaky. And this is the kind of conditioning that is really important for us to tackle on a mindset level. These are the stories that we need to rewrite. These are the beliefs that we need to reframe, because you need to understand that that is not what is happening. What is happening is that you kind of need to try before you buy. You need that final confirmation before you can have true clarity as to what is right for you and what is not. Again, I would love to know, do you resonate with this? Does this sound familiar? Does this sound like something you've been through before? If so, let me know in the comments. I would love to understand your experience more because, like I said, I can't truly speak to it because that is not my design. Having spoken to many manifesting generators, I can definitely confirm that they have often related to this feeling of, I change my mind a lot and I often get frustrated with myself because I truly believed XYZ was what I wanted to do, and then I do it and then I'm like, actually, no, it's not what I want to do. And so there can be a lot of frustration and a lot of guilt attached to that, which is what I often help my clients work through. So that is your strategy. And I'm going to summarize it again. If we're going to break it down, it can be broken down into 4 different stages, which is number 1, you wait, and that's not a passive process. That is you getting clear, making space, decluttering, letting the wrong things go. Number 2, you respond. You're presented with something and you get to discern whether this is something that you want to say yes to or something you want to say no to. Then you inform, you let people know of your decision, and then you take action. You actually engage with the thing that you want to be doing. And at that point, you'll get the final confirmation of whether it's the right thing for you or not. And if not, remember, you're partly a manifester. You are absolutely capable of redirecting your course, right? If you do something, you try it and you realize, shoot, this is actually not what I thought it was going to be. You are agile and adaptable enough to course correct and make a change. Try something else. Instead of going down this path, you might just need to tweak a little bit to the right or to the left and try something else. Now, the last 2 things I want to touch on and introduce you to are your signature and your not self theme. When we're talking about not self theme and signature, what we are referring to is not self theme is your sign, your signal that you are not living in alignment. You are not being your truest self. You're living your life based on your conditioning, based on all the shoulds, based on all the musts, based on what society tells you you need to be doing, based on expectations. So you will recognize when you are not being yourself, when you are in your not self theme, when you feel frustrated. Often for you guys, frustration arises when you try to live your life as a manifester and it doesn't work out for you. What I mean by this is manifestors, pure manifestors, are designed to initiate. They have the very unique ability to decide that they want to do something and go off and do it. They don't need support, they don't need approval, they don't need to even have agreement from people around them to be able to go and action whatever urges that they experienced. But you guys, you're not full manifestors. Therefore, operating in that way is not meant for you. And so when you try and make things happen, when you try and initiate, when you try and force things because you live in a world that tells you if you want something, go out and get it. If you want to achieve something, make it happen. That as we explored, the strategy for a manifesting generator is to wait, to respond, to inform, and then to take action. And so when you work against that strategy, that is also when you get into your not self theme. That's when you get frustrated, because it's almost like the harder you try and make things happen, the more resistance you create and the more frustrated you become, because you're like, what the heck is going on? I'm doing all these things, I'm taking all this action, I'm putting in all this effort, and yet I'm not seeing the results. Why does it work for them and why does it not work for me? So it's really important to recognize when you're feeling frustrated and to just pause and understand that feeling frustrated is not a bad thing, but it is a sign. It's a nudge trying to tell you, hey buddy, you are not operating as your truest, most authentic, best self right now. What do we need to do to course correct? And what do we need to do to experience the opposite of this frustration, which is, for manifesting generators, satisfaction. A feeling of being satisfied with who you are, with what you're doing, with how you're doing things. And the way that you're going to really lean into your signature of satisfaction is by living in alignment to your energy type, by honoring your strategy, and by staying true to your overall design. Now, that sums up the introduction that I wanted to share with you about the manifesting generator type. The last thing I want to say is that there is so much more to human design than just energy type. Energy type really is the tip of the iceberg. It's the most kind of foundational piece of human design, but there are so many other nuances and intricacies and quirks and unique aspects to each individual design which is what makes us so unique and so different from one another. So I hope you found this helpful. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Feel free to reach out to me in the DMs on Instagram as well. My handle is @Mezzetti-Draia. If you're looking for someone to support you and guide you in your own personal development journey, then I invite you to have a look at my website where you can find all the different services that I provide. They are all a blend of human design and coaching. So feel free to have a little bit of a sneak peek and let me know if there's any way that I can support you. If you haven't done so already, please give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you here in the next one. Bye guys!